Alright, good day viewers. Welcome to another interesting edition of past year question on Edubbey Dynamic Solutions Group. I'm your regular guide. So we are moving down to May, June 2023. In our subsequent classes, we've treated two papers from the October, November section. So today we are moving to May, June 2023, and the instruction says we are to answer all questions. So let's get started. Are you ready? All right, I'm also ready here. Question number 1. A book contains a barcode whose number is 5036 193 09903. Take the most appropriate validation check to test the validity of the barcode. So that means which one of these are we going to use to check the validity of the barcode? Is it the check digits, the format check, the range check, or the spell check? He said, all right, that's exactly the correct answer. It is check digits. So you tick it. And we are done with question number 1. Question number 2 says, identify the most appropriate hardware from the description given. Identify the most appropriate hardware from the description given. A. Non-volatile internal memory used to store the startup instructions. Non-volatile internal memory used to store the startup instruction. So what is the answer to that one? You're correct. Wrong. Read-only memory. That's the correct answer. Wrong. Read-only memory. Read-only memory. I'll call it ROM. That is the non-volatile internal what? Internal memory. So B says an internal component that provides the inputs and outputs of audio signals. That's what? Yes, sound card. That's correct. It's the sound card that produces the what? The sound. Sound card. All right, C says an internal component that is composed of the main memory, the control unit, and the arithmetic units, logic unit. That's what? That's the CPU or processor. Call it CPU, or you can call it the processor. All right. So moving on to question number 3. A head teacher is producing a web page about the history of her school. She has given some old hard copy photographs, which she will include on the web page. She has a digital camera and a scanner to use to convert the hard copy photographs into a digital format. Compare the use of a digital camera with a scanner in this scenario. Your answer must include similarities and differences. So let's start with similarities. What are the similarities between what? Between a scanner and a camera. Okay? What are the similarities? All right, I'm with you. 1, both capture images, right? Both capture images. That's 1. Two is what? Both store digital data. Both store digital data. Let's add one more. Though you have 4 as your answer, so you can just list two, but let me give you one more. Both create digital images. Both create digital images. All right. So that these are what? 3 similarities. Do we understand? So let's put it here. Then we go to what? We go to 3 differences also. Let's also write 3 differences. Different. All right. So can anybody tell me one difference between a scanner and a photograph, a camera, right? 1, digital camera is more portable. Digital camera is more what? Portable. That means it's more portable than a scanner, right? Another one is what? Scanner captures the image in more details. Scanner captures the image. Scanner captures the image in details or in more details, anyone you want to put there. Then 3, digital camera has faster data capture. Digital camera has more what? Has faster data capture. All right. So these are the differences. There you have it. Let's go to the next question. Question number 4. A company uses an extranet. Do you know what an extranet is? That's exactly what you are asked to explain. Explain what is meant by an extranet. What do we mean by an extranet? Okay? An extranet is part of a company's intranet. Okay? An extranet is part of a company's what? Intranet. Part of a company's what? Company's intranet. Or you can say the company gives permission for customers and suppliers to access it because it is mainly part of the company's data or internet connection. The company, this is the second one. So this is the first one. Second one, the company gives permission. That is, without the permission of the company, a customer will not be able to access the what? The extranet. For customers and suppliers, to access it. So that means without the company's permission, no customer or supplier will be able to what? Access a company's intranet. Do we understand? Do we understand? Okay. Let's go to 4B. It says describe the differences between the internet and an extranet. Describe the differences between the internet and an extranet. So, an internet allows what? Allows public access. Internet allows public access to information. Whereas extranet on its own allows limited access. No, I told you earlier that without the company's permission, a customer or a supplier will not be able to access a company's what? A company's extranet. So when internet is public, extranet is what? Is private. That means you need permission to be able to access it. All right. So another difference is that what? Yes, who can tell us? Internet and extranet. Extranet is more secure than an internet. Extranet is more secure. Is more secure than an internet because we said the public has access to the what? To the internet. While the extranet, it is only limited people that the company has given permission we have access to the what? To extranet. Another difference is that the internet is not owned by anybody or anyone, whereas the extranet is owned by a company. The internet is not what? Is not owned by anyone or anybody, whereas the extranet is owned by a company. So question number 5. State which health issues is most likely to occur from each description shown. Your answer must be different in each case. 5A. Typing on a keyboard for long period of time. So what's the health issue associated with typing for a long period of time on a keyboard? Yes? Repetitive strain injury. That's correct. Repetitive strain injury. All right? This is one of the health issue associated with what? With typing on a keyboard for a long period of time. B. Looking at a computer screen for a long time. What will happen? What's the health issue associated with that? Well, we can have eye strain. You can have headache or you can have neck ache. All these are what? Are associated with gazing on the screen for a long period of time. Sitting with bad posture. I can relate with that. All right? Sitting with bad posture. See, you say you can also relate. Good. All right. So, what is the answer if you can relate? Let me see. Let me see if you get it right. Correct. Backache. You have backache when you sit with bad posture. And you can also have neck ache. But we are going with backache. That's for 5C. All right. Do we understand? All right, let's move on. Question number 6. A company requires its employees to regularly change their login password for the company's computer systems. Passwords must be strong and cannot be reused. A. Explain 3 problems that may occur when the employees change their passwords regularly. All right, so when employees change password regularly, what are the problems that you think might be associated with that? One is that what? The passwords could become similar. The what? The passwords could become similar. When you are frequently changing it, you get tired of what do I use. So you use something that are similar. The passwords could become similar, which will make the security what? Which will make the security the security the security of passwords weakened. See, when you start changing regularly and you are changing, there will be a time you start inputting weak what? Passwords. That's one of the what? Problems that may be associated with what? With changing passwords regularly. 2 is what? Yes, give me one. Users could easily forget the current password. Users could what? Could easily forget the current password. Since you are always changing it, you will think, oh, is it this one that I used last week? Or this is the one I'm presently using? You'll be confused. Users could what? Could easily forget the current password. The current password. All right? So when you forget the current password, you start thinking, oh, which password am I using now? The current password. Leading to what? System lockout. Because if you cannot remember your password, it will lock out of. Leading to what? System lockout. It will lock you out of the system since you cannot remember your what? Your password. All right, so the third one is what? Can someone give me one? Yes, 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 yes. Think. You are preparing for your exam also, okay? All right. Yes, that's correct. May be more difficult to find a different password. Maybe what? May be more difficult to find what? To find a different password. Leading to what? Leading to password being weakened. Leading to what? Password being weakened. When you use all your strong passwords and you are still required to change the password regularly, then you just start using any password that comes to your mind. And therefore, you start putting what? Weak password. Do we understand? All right. if that is understood. All right, let me give you other ones. I'm not going to type those ones. Just going to tell you so that you know there are others apart from these three that we've jotted down. User may have to write the password down so they are not forgotten. This may lead to others saying the password. That is, when you put your password down somewhere, maybe at the back of your jotter or in the middle, and someone got access to that jotter, what will happen? There will be a breach of security because they will be able to see your password. It may be typed incorrectly as the passwords is like the previous one, could lead to login errors. That is, you keep changing password and they look similar. You can just type wrong ones, and which could what? Lead to login errors. So let's go to question 6b. Question 6b says what? The company has a website which uses a digital certificate. Explain the purpose of the digital certificate. What is the purpose of digital certificate? Okay, digital certificate is just what? To ensure that a website, is trusted, or you can say is authentic, or you can say is genuine. Any one of the three will stand for, they are synonymous words. They are what? Synonymous. That means you can use them interchangeably. So either you see use they are trusted, authentic, genuine, you are still referring to what? To the same thing. And that is the importance of what? The importance of digital certificates. Do we understand? All right. So let's move on to question 6c. A digital certificate is attached to an email. State 3 items contained in a digital certificate. That is, when you have a digital certificate, what are the 3 things that you think will be part of the digital certificate? One is the what? Correct, the company or owner's name. You will have the company or owner's name there. The company or owner's name. That's the first thing you will notice on the what? On the digital certificate. Another one is what? You said? Yes. Another one is date issued. The date the digital certificate was issued. Date issued. That's another thing that you see in a what? In a digital certificate. And the third one is what? Because you are told to mention 3. The third one is what? Awesome. The expiry date. The what? Expiry date. These are 3 things that you see in a what? In a digital certificate. Others are serial number. You have a serial number. You have issuers or senders name. You have owners or company public key. And you also have company or owner's digital signature. All these are also part of what you are going to see in a digital what? Certificate. All right. Now to question number 7. A student is creating a spreadsheet that includes a formula to check a number entered in a cell is between 2 values. The number is entered in cell A10 as an integer. If the number is between the 2 values, then a message OK is displayed. Otherwise, error is displayed. The formula the student has created is if and open brackets A10 greater than 1, comma A10 less than 32, close brackets, comma. Then you have double apostrophe, okay. Then you close it, double apostrophe, error, close it. Then you have the closing brackets. Data will be used to test the formula. A. Identify two items of extreme test data that the student should use and give the reason why this data was chosen. Extreme test data 1. What do you think the students, what are the extreme test data that the student is going to use for this? Okay, good. To test the boundaries. To test the what? The boundaries. To test the boundaries. All right, of the formula. To test the boundaries of the what? Of the formula. That's one. 2. To test the comparisons. To test the comparisons are correct. To test the comparisons are what? Are correct. So those are the two tests that will be carried on the what? On the data. So another question now says reason. That is why. That is what? Why. The answer to that is to ascertain what? To ascertain proficiency. To ascertain what? Proficiency. Proficiency. So let's move on to B now. All right. We move on to B. 7B. The student has entered an item of abnormal test data. Explain why abnormal test data is used. Why has the student entered abnormal what? Test data. One is what? Yes. Try. To test what? To test that data outside the range is not acceptable. To test that data outside the range is not acceptable. That's one. 2. To test the correct data type is entered. To test the correct data type is entered. And 3. To test the error message works. To test the error message works. All right, so these are the 3 reasons we are going to give. We still have other ones Like to test the errors are trapped correctly. To test the errors are trapped what? Correctly. All right, so let's move on to the next question, which is question number 8. A teacher provides revision lesson during the holidays. The teacher plans to use web conferencing for the lessons. A. Explain what is meant by web conferencing. We all know what is web conferencing, right? All right. Yes, those ones you old, of course, you're correct. Web conferencing is a form of, it is what? It is a form of real-time, or you can say live. When you say real-time, it's the same thing as live, or you can say online. It's a form of real-time, live, or online what? Communication. Communication. Where multiple users or devices are what? Are connected. Using the what? Using the internet. So if you don't have the internet, you cannot connect to a web conference. Using the internet. All right? You can see add more that all users sees the same screen. That is, if someone is instructing, the teacher is instructing them, they will all be seeing the what? The teacher's screen. Since the teacher is the one organizing what? A web conferencing. So they will all be seeing what? The teacher's screen. That means they will be seeing the same screen. And they will be communicating using video cameras and microphones. All right? So let's go to 8B now. 8B says, evaluate the use of web conferencing in this scenario. Evaluate what? The use of web conferencing in this scenario. So we can have positive and we can have negative effect. So for you to have your full marks, you should endeavor to state the two. That is, you state the positive side and you also state the what? The negative side. Do we understand? So don't just state one and think you will get all the answers. You will not get your full mark like that. So endeavor to do what? To write both the positive and the negative. The answer, the mark there is 6. So at least you should try and write 3 on both sides. So let's start. One of the positive is the what? The students. The students what? Save time. The students save time as they do not need to travel to the school. As they do not need to what? To travel to the school. So this saves their time. All right, so that's one of the positives. See, if they need to take transport again, maybe some of them has traveled for holiday, traveled overseas, and they will need to come back to their school. See, it will take them a lot of time to travel down. Isn't that correct? So they are able to what? They are able to save time. The students also save costs. They what? They save costs because the cost of transportation will no longer be there. They are able to what? Able to save costs of what? Of transportation. Since they only need to connect with their data on the internet. So they save cost of transportation as a result of what? Result of not traveling. All right? That's another positive there. Do you understand? All right. So number 3 now. Let's put one more before we go to the negative. Number 3 now. The school saves costs as it does not need to open in the holidays. See, if the students were to come to school, that means the school will also have to spend in preparation for the students. So, but since it is online, they don't need to open. So the school what? Saves costs as it does not what? It does not need to open, does not need to open during the holidays. All right. So these are some of the words, some of the positives. And you can also write students and teachers can work from anywhere in the world. That's another advantage. Unlike when you have to come to school, you can only learn in the school. But if it is web conferencing, you can learn from anywhere that you are. Isn't that correct? Even if you are in a country which is far away from where your school is located, the world is a what? Is a global village. So you can learn from anywhere and everywhere. Then the negatives now. The negatives. What are the negatives of this? One is hardware and software could be what? Could be expensive. Hardware and software could be expensive. That's one. Two. Yes, what else can we have as the negative? I'm listening, I'm with you. Two. Yes, that's correct. Two is that what? Only student with the correct specialist device will be able to access it. Only students what? Only students with the correct specialist device will be able to access it. That's another disadvantage. Yes, three. More difficult to concentrate. More what? More difficult to concentrate because you are in your sitting room and connected to the web. Maybe there is a World Cup or a Nations Cup or the Asian Cup or the African Cup of Nations going on. You are stylishly watching and you said you are on web conferencing. So it can be more what? More difficult to concentrate. So those are the what? The negatives. Others are there could be issues with child protection. There could be issues with what? With child protection because there is cyberbullying online these days and anything can happen online. Also, It requires a good or reliable internet connection. If your internet is not good, or one chance, you are on your own. You just be connecting and reconnecting, connecting and reconnecting until the classes or class finished. So number 9 now. The products in a warehouse contain either a barcode or a radio frequency identification, which is known as RFID tag. The data about each product is read electronically. Compare barcode readers and RFID readers. Your answer must include similarities and what? And differences. So that means the question is asking you to what? Before you can gain your full mark, you need to compare on both sides. So let's go. Similarities. Yes, who can tell me the 4 similarities between a barcode and RFID readers? Yes, keep it coming, keep it coming. Give it to me now. Yes. All right, that's it. Both readers scan the product's code. Both readers scan what? The product code. So that means you can use both readers to scan the what? The product code. 2, both readers are contactless. That is, they do not need to contact it before they scan whatever they want to scan. Okay? Both readers are what? Contactless. Contactless. All right? The third one. Both readers use direct data entry. Both readers use what? Direct data entry. All right? So these are the what? These are the similarities. These are the what? The similarities. You can do well to expatiate on them if you can, so that you have a little bit of explanation attached to it. All right. The differences now. The differences. What are the difference? Yes, thank you. Barcode readers only scan one barcode at a time, whereas RFID readers read multiple tags at the same time. That's a difference. That's a what? A difference. We said barcode readers scan once at a time, while RFID can scan what? RFID readers can scan multiple at a time. Can you see the difference now? One can only scan once at a time, while the other, RFID, can scan multiple at a time. That's one. Another difference is what? Yes, another difference is what? Barcode readers require a direct line of sight. Barcode readers required what? Require a direct line of sight. It requires a direct line of sight with the code. While RFID readers use near field technology. All right, so that's the second difference. Near field. All right, field, FIELD, near field technology. So the third one now. Yes, I'm with you. Barcode readers emit light. Do you know the meaning of emit? Yes, correct. Barcode readers emit light, whereas RFID uses what? Electromagnetic or we call it radio waves. Electromagnetic waves or radio waves. That's what RFID uses. Do we understand? Another difference is that barcode readers might not be able to read a damaged or scratched barcode, whereas RFID can read data as long as chip tag is not severely damaged. Do we understand? All right. So let's move on to the next question, which is question 9B. Question 9B says what? Identify two other uses of RFID. Identify two other uses of what? Of RFID. All right. So one is what? What other thing can we use RFID for? Race timing tracking. Race timing tracking. That's one. Another one is what? Livestock tracking. Livestock. You know what we mean by livestock, right? Yes. Your hen, your goats, whatever you are rearing, that's your livestock. Livestock what? Tracking. Can use it to track your livestock. Okay. Others are event attendee tracking. You can use it to track the attendance of an event. You can use it to do what? To track the attendance of an what? Of an event. You can also use it to track library books. You can also use it to track what? Library books. Moving on. Let's go to question number 10. Meta tags can be used in a web page. A meta tag can be used to define the viewpoint settings. Now we are told to identify 3 other items that can be defined in meta tags. 3 other things that can be what? That can be defined in meta tags. One is what? One is name attributes. What do I call it? Name attributes. Name attributes. 2, we have content attributes. What do I call it? Content attributes. And the third one, yes, who can tell me the third one? We have character sets. We have what? Character set. That's the third one. So those are 3 items that can be defined in a what? In a meta tag. Do we understand? All right. 10b. Meta tags are used in the HTML of web pages. State the section of the HTML which contains the meta tags. That's the what? The head element. The what? The head element. All right, the head element. That is the section of the HTML which contains what? Which contains the meta tag. Do we understand? Are we following? Are we following? All right. Number 11 now. Some gaming systems use gesture-based user interfaces to operate a game. Some gaming systems use gesture-based interface to operate a game. A. Describe what is meant by a gesture-based user interface. Describe what is meant by a gesture-based user interface. All right, so when we say gesture-based interface, it is where what? Where the human body, interacts with the what? With the device. Where the human body interacts with the device, or you can say where a woman gives a command. Where a what? Where a woman gives the what? Gives a command without using a keyboard. Without using a keyboard. You know, most of the games we play them with keyboards, right? But where you have human body parts interact with the computer without making use of the what? Of the pads or the keyboards. That's what we describe as what? As human gesture. When you just point your finger or twist your hand or do this or do the other, and you are able to operate the game. That's what we call human gesture. So 11b now, it says, describe the drawbacks of what? Of using human gesture based Describe the what? The drawbacks of using gesture-based users in interface in this way. Describe the drawbacks of using gesture-based user interface in this way. Yes? It's what? Fatigue or gorilla arm. Fatigue. You know what is fatigue, right? That's tiredness. Fatigue or gorilla arm. Another one is what? User can unintentionally activate the device by moving their arms or fingers. Users can what? Users can unintentionally activate the device by moving their what? Their fingers or arms. Yes. Another one is issues with stopping the gesture. Issues with what? Issues with stopping the gesture. If users touches a button or interacts, interface knows the command is completed. That is issue with stopping the what? The gesture. If user touches a button interface knows the command is completed. Yes. So those are what? Those are the answers. Those are the drawbacks. And I told you, if you follow us yesterday, that drawbacks means what? Disadvantages. Yes. Thank you for remembering. This what? Disadvantage. All right, so let's move on to the next question now. Question number 12 says, movies can be stored on blue disks or an internal hard disk. Describe why Blu-ray discs are preferred to an internal hard disk for storing movies. One is what? When you store movies in Blu-ray discs instead of hard disk, data cannot be erased or edited. cannot be what? Be erased or edited. That's one. Two, since we have 4 marks, let's list 4. Blu-ray discs are portable. Blu-ray discs are what? Are portable. 3, hard disk is fixed in the computer. That means it is not movable. Hard disk, except you are carrying the system around, hard disk is fixed in the computer. And lastly, you can have large number of Blu-ray discs, therefore more storage. You can have what? You can have large number of Blu-ray discs. You can have large number of Blu-ray what? Blu-ray discs. Therefore, more storage. All right. So these are the benefits or the advantages of storing your movies on a Blu-ray disc instead of what? Of an hard disk. (12B) now. 12B says hard disks and Blu-ray discs are example of backing storage. State 2 characteristics of backing storage. State 2 what? 2 characteristics of backing storage. 1, they are non what? Non-volatile. They are non-volatile. 2, who can tell me another one? Yes? Who can give us another one? Yes, they store data permanently. Stores data permanently. Okay? So we are out to state 2, and that's 2. Another one is slower to access than internal what? Internal memory. That's another one. Slower to access than what? Than internal memory. Do we understand? Do we understand? All right. So let's move to number 12B, Roman numeral 2. It says identify 2 other types of backing storage. That is, apart from Blu-ray disc and hard disk, we are told to identify 2 other types of backing storage. We have what? Pen drives. You know a pen drive, right? Okay. And we also have what? Cloud storage. Yes, I had someone said flash memory there. That's also correct. You said magnetic tape. It's also part of it. CD, DVD, DVD RAM, memory cards, SSD, all these are also what? They are also backing what? Backing storage. Thank you. Clap for yourselves. All right. To number 13 now. Question number 13 says, weather forecasters use computer modeling. We all know what weather is. Okay, so weather forecasters use what? Computer modeling. Explain why computer modeling is used to forecast the weather. Explain what? Why computer modeling is used to what? To forecast the weather. One is it can give what? It can give residents. It can give residents early warning of severe weather. Early warning of severe weather. That means people will have known, oh, today, oh, there is going to be heavy rain. Oh, today, the cold is going to be heavy. Today, there is going to be a lot of ice dropping. So, it will give the residents of a place early warning so that they will have prepared and be saved from case of what? Eventualities. Case of what? Eventualities. That is what prevention of severe weather means. Number 2, more accurate results produced. More what? More accurate results produced. Unlike when computer modeling has not been adopted. See, it's very hard to predict the weather. But you see, today you see weather forecaster coming on the television and predicting the weather of 1 month, what will happen in the next week, what will happen in 2 months' time. And in most cases, they are usually correct. So it's because they use what? Computer modeling. So you have more accurate results. More what? Accurate results. More accurate results. Another one is what? Can predict long range weather. Can predict what? Can predict long range weather. Trends. Or you have global warming. Global warming. So just like I said now, when you use the computer modeling, it will be able to tell you what will happen in a long time, like in a month or 2 months, like that. So that is what we refer to as what? Prediction of what? Can predict long range weather trend. Let's add one more so that we have 4. Okay, the fourth one now. Can deal with the more complex calculations quicker. Can deal with the what? With the more complex calculations quicker. All right. So another importance or another advantage of using computer modeling is faster way of producing weather patterns than using a human. That's another one. So let's go to 13B. It says data is collected by different types of sensor and then input to the computer model to be processed. Identify two sensors that could be used to collect weather data. Identify what? Two sensors that could be used to collect weather data. One is what? Temperature. Good. Temperature. Another one is what? Yes, wind speed. Wind speed. We also have moisture or humidity. No moisture or humidity, right? The level of wetness. Okay. Moisture or humidity. We also have pressure. All these are sensors that could be used to collect what? Weather data. 13C now, it says the processed data is then output. Identify two output devices that could be what? That could be used. And we have printer. We have what? Printer. And we also have what? Monitor. You have printer, you have monitor, you also have what? Plotter. You also have what? Plotter. All those what are what? Output device. They are what? Output device. All right. Let's move on. Moving on. Question number 14 now. E-publishing software is used to create an e-publication to display a school's yearly magazine. A. Describe the characteristics of an e-publication. What are the what? The characteristics of what? E-publication. 1. Allows multimedia. Allows what? Multimedia to be embedded in the pages. In the what? In the pages. Allows multimedia to be embedded in the pages. Two. Yes, two. Can be used by many users simultaneously. Can be used by what? Can be used by many users simultaneously. That is, many people can use it at the same time. Yes. What's the other one? Readers can interact with the e-publication. Readers can interact with what? With the e-publication. All right. So it is 4 mark and we've written 3. Let's add one more. Allows auto change of pages. Allows what? Allows auto change of what? Of pages. So that's 4. Others include, it is digital, so can be used in other documents. It is what? Digital. So you can use it in what? In other documents. We will also have more up-to-date than physical magazines. More what? More up-to-date than physical magazines. All right, 14B. The e-publishing software is subject to software copyright legislation. Give 2 methods that could be used to prevent software copyright legislation being broken. Yes. Is that use of what? Yes, use of license agreement. Use of what? Use of license agreement. That is, if you have licensed your book, others will not be able to publish it without your what? Without your consent. Another one is what? Users install DRM. Do you know what we call DRM? Very good. Users what? Install DRM. Part of the code which stop you from copying it. That's DRM, right? Good. Part of the code which stops you from what? From copying it. All right, so those are 2. We still have more there. Running the software with a dongle or a CD pen drive attached. All right, so those are ways that you can prevent your what? Your e-publication from being copied or from copyright. Do you get it? Do we understand? Do we understand? So we've come to the end of today's paper. If you enjoyed the class, do well to join us in our subsequent videos by subscribing to this page so that you get notification when the videos are uploaded. You can also share with your friends, like, and put your comments down under the comment section on what you want us to discuss or a particular year you are having problem with that you want us to discuss together. Till I come your way next time. Bye.